So you think you've left the photography kiddie pool and you're finally ready to swim with the big boys. Well, let's see if that's true. Here are 7 signs to tell you whether or not you are finally no longer a beginner photographer. Get ready to cringe at your old self. Number 1, you stop shooting everything wide open aperture. Remember when f1.4 was your religion and bokeh was your god? Well, those days are behind you. You've now realized that not every photo needs to have soup for background. You've likely shot at f1.4, f1.8 for all your portraits, your street photography, your food photography, all kinds of stuff. By now, you've probably shot in other categories like, say, landscape or real estate, where you need to have your aperture at f9, f11, or maybe even more. You may have even shot some portraits where you realize, hey, this is a kind of scenic background. It'd be cool to be able to see it. If this is you, congrats. You are one step closer to no longer being a beginner photographer. Number 2, you're shooting in manual mode on purpose, not just because somebody on YouTube told you to. You actually understand what each of the settings means and how to adjust them depending on the situation that you're in. You're not panicking if something is overexposed, underexposed, and you're certainly no longer married to your aperture priority mode. You understand when to use slow shutter, fast shutter, and how to compensate for the other settings in each situation. You're not scared to experiment. You've tried a couple things, you've seen stuff that you like, stuff that you don't, situations that were favorable, situations that weren't, and now you know kind of what to do in each different case. Number 3, you know to shoot raw photos or raw and JPEGs. You understand the value of having greater flexibility to edit your raw photos, but you also understand the value of being able to deliver JPEGs as shot in certain situations. You understand what settings to tweak when editing your raw photos, and you're not abusing that clarity slider like it owes you money. Number 4, you stopped obsessing over camera specs. You used to think that a camera wasn't a real camera unless it cost more than your rent. You realize that the greater value lies in being able to use the camera as a tool to achieve the results that you're looking for. Plus, oftentimes, having a good lens outweighs having a good camera anyways. You can take a fire photo on both a A7R5 or a D3500 because you understand it's your skills and your ability with the tool of the camera that make the photo. Number 5, you've developed your own editing style. You're not always just going and using these pre-bought LUTs and smacking them all over your photos. You might be able to do that. Maybe it looks cool, maybe it's easier, maybe it's faster, maybe it's better. But at the end of the day, you're not relying on needing to have the LUTs in order to be able to make a solid photo. You know when to go moody, you know when to go clean, and most importantly, you know how much to slide that saturation and contrast sliders without destroying your image. Number 6, you prioritize storytelling over just making it look cool. Once upon a time, you thought that a drone shot of a coffee cup on a table would be cinematic and cool. Now you question, do you actually need that? Is that pertinent to the story? Congratulations, you've evolved. Especially in a setting where you're doing a set of photos and they're all supposed to be related to each other, it helps to make sure you're aligned for your identity or brand or scheme for this set of photos rather than just taking a bunch of random unrelated photos. Number 7, you cringe at your old photos. You've gone through and you've seen these old libraries of all of your first photos that you've ever taken, and you wince and you cringe and you cry. How could you ever have taken that close-up macro shot of that dandelion blowing in the wind? You realize the growth you've had, and you acknowledge how far you've come from those first puddle reflection shots that you took oh so long ago. And the best part, in 2 years, you'll probably be cringing at what you're shooting now. It never ends. So how many of these hit home? If you've done 5 or more, congratulations, you've officially graduated, and I hereby crown you no longer a beginner photographer. Like, comment, subscribe, bye.